I was just thinking back on like Diddy though, and like his impact on my life, man. Like I listened to a lot of Bad Boy growing up, and I bought the Sean John gear. You know what I'm saying? I had the two piece, and he had influence over my life. And it's kind of one of those things it's sad when you see somebody who like you kind of looked up to as a kid and you get exposed. And it seems like that's happening a lot, but he.
Welcome back to another episode of Technically Speaking, where we are giving you news
that you can use.
Hey,
almost there.
It's all good because I'm a strong buck anyway.
Hey, you know what? I want to do something different.
What's up? Hey, but while we wait for her to come back, man, we had a good time with 4th of July, man. To the question you asked, man, my fun budget, like the money I have to do fun things, is low because I had to pay for my trip home. But one of my boys came through, looked out, and brought some fireworks for the kids, man. So we had a good time, man. And then one of my neighbors kept giving one of my sons like fireworks, so he made out good, man. We still got fireworks. And
nice.
Dude, and they go ham with the fireworks here where I'm at. In my side of town, man, like you could look in, like, it's basically a free fireworks show, man. People go all out here, man. So like, even when we were done, me and my baby girl just sat outside and just kept watching the fireworks, man. So we had a good time on America's birthday.
I love that.
Did they sell the illegal ones, or you still got to go to Mexico or like Arizona?
I don't think Texas is pretty laxed here. So I don't think you have to go to Mexico to get stuff, man. I'm talking, they have some bangers here, man. Like I'm talking like the stuff you will see at Six Flags, man.
Wow.
Yeah. They go. Matter of fact, they have
stuff that makes your heart palpitate a little bit if you got that PTSD.
Yeah.
some big boom.
So like we got the Alamo fireworks warehouses here. Like I'm talking the huge warehouses that you could walk in and get like the industry grade.
Wow.
Yeah, I have three of them within like 5 or 6 minutes of my house in different directions.
They love Texas, baby. They love our fireworks here.
I ain't
Creative Native just tapped in. He said Oni and Cali are fireworks illegal, like folks in Los Angeles. Damn.
What up, Creative?
What up, Creative Native?
It's real. You got to travel to Arizona, man, if you want to get some real good fireworks, unless you know somebody who's got them on the back of the truck. Otherwise you get these little packs now for like $100. It's got like some sparklers, a couple little pop-offs,
Hell no, those ain't fireworks. Those are
nothing
baby
crazy.
Boys.
Those are firecrackers.
The stuff I used to, the stuff we were lighting when we were like 5 or 6 years old.
Yeah. No, hey.
We didn't have stuff like that. What's up, Corey?
I got the plug for all that, for the ones that you really want.
The main man with the game plan, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I do. But you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to say what type of fireworks. Just know that if you get caught with them, don't say I gave them to you. Man. But there we go again. And I'll probably be next. I think it's the red. It's something with the red. Okay,
it could be the red, man. I don't know.
Red. I'm gonna tell you
what's going on.
The fireworks shows are amazing, but the ones in the hood, especially when they're illegal, priceless. Like when I used to live in LA, and like I lived off of 8th Ave, right behind Crenshaw High. So from 8th Ave and 52nd all the way to 48th. There was you couldn't make a turn. It was just go straight until you got to 48, right?
Yeah.
And then you can make a right or a left. So behind Crenshaw High, everybody had illegal fireworks. And I mean like people thought the fireworks was coming from the school on the other side of Crenshaw because that's what type of fireworks they were popping. And so I'll never forget, you know what I'm saying? My babies, when I had them, like when they were 3, they were like, they want to watch fireworks. I guess they didn't understand what fireworks was. Because me and my brother, we used to pop them out. And fireworks were... It like, you didn't need street lights. And so the police drove down, right? So then when the police drove down, all we did was just...
Stupidly annoying.
Just sat down in the street they drove by real slow. Like, you guys not popping no illegal fireworks, officer. I mean, officers was like, you're not popping no illegal fireworks. We was like, have a nice day, officer. You can't lie to an officer. That's an offense. You can't lie to them.
Yeah.
So we was like, as soon as they hit the corner on 52nd going down, make sure they were on 7th Ave. Light it up.
Hey, pew, 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 pew.
Yeah,
That's what's up, man. So let's get on to our topics. We gotta hurry up because we got people to keep dropping off. Because just to let y'all know, work with us down here in Texas. We do still have storms coming, so our internet connections are not the best right now. So y'all just gonna have to work with us, man. But what we got, man? What we talking about tonight?
Oh man, we gonna hit them with the current affair that's going on right now. I'm not sure if everybody knows, but the VA is total the shit. Some more jobs. They started with 12,000 at the top of the year in January, and they're supposed to end by September, another 18,000. So a total of 30,000 employees that work for the VA will be out and about looking for private sector work. Also, as you mentioned, brother, the flood in Kerr County, we're dealing with that, and hopefully there's some relief coming, because there's some cities out there, there's some people out there that's actually providing relief, and those people that are providing relief, they're like regular small businesses out there. And on top of that, this is just in the beginning. We're discussing the big, beautiful bill briefly. So we hitting with the 4 B's. You know what I'm saying? We briefly
4 B's.
Remember BB Bridges?
BB Bridges. I remember that.
Yeah, what was that from?
You can only get out if you show blood. I remember those rules.
Oh.
Yep. So man, hey man, that VA man, I didn't get a chance to see what positions they're cutting, but I really hope that the veterans don't feel the impact in our care, because I use the VA too myself, man.
Yeah.
And I will say, up until recently, it's been good. I honestly might be requesting to get a different primary care manager, because the one I got now, man, she seemed to be slacking a little bit, man. But other than that, I mean, I really hope it doesn't take us back, right? Because I remember hearing, our elders complain about the VA and the service they used to get back in the day, but I had a different experience. So I hope, man. We're gonna see in due time, right? That is crazy. What happened with Bobby?
So what happened? Cool. She's coming in. I truly believe that, like you're saying, we were having some issues with the network because of what's going on in the area. So I saw Bobby came in, and then she came in again. So I just made sure that, we keep her connected at all times. Bobby, I'm playing checkers with you. If you hop off, I'll put you back in.
Are you? Because I ended up switching my Wi-Fi network to my phone, maybe thinking it's going to be a little bit more stable. I don't know what happened.
We'll see if it holds.
Not to ask you if you could repeat yourself, but why are you wanting to get a different primary care manager?
She's just been slacking. She's not been on it, man. Like I'm used to like just follow-ups, like my annual. I had to like hit them up and be like, hey, I think I'm due for the annual, right? And then I got there and it just dawned on me. I was like, wait a minute. Wasn't I supposed to do labs? Because normally they have you do labs a week before. So I'm the one like telling the doc what to do. So that's why I think I'm gonna have to explain myself again when Bobby gets back.
Yeah, I mean, I wish that I could contribute something to this conversation right now, but like you guys talking VA, and it's gonna be over my head. All right, she's back.
Bobby. Basically, I feel like I'm the one coaching my doctor, making sure I get my annuals, and then making sure I get my lab schedule, because they didn't do none of that. I got
a VA appointment tomorrow morning, and they didn't even tell me what for. They were just like, you got a VA appointment. I was like, okay. I guess they'll show up. I'm
wondering if that's the indicators of the cuts, man. Because Hey man, you. So when we were in the military, y'all, for those that were never in the military, they would always make cuts to the military, and they'll be like, "Oh, you'll just have to get used to doing more with less." They'd always say that, "Yeah, just we'll do more with less." Yeah. Oh no, you do less with less. So I don't.
Yeah.
I don't
You
understand.
can only do so much with less.
Exactly.
What happened to Corey?
Corey, you there? You there? I don't know.
I wonder if he's trying to fix something.
He might.
I have no idea why I keep dropping off. My internet shows it's stable.
Well, we're gonna keep trying to get it pushing, man. What's your thoughts on all those cuts to the VA? 30K employees cut by the fall of 2025, Bobby. And we're gonna keep it pushing.
I guess I could probably throw something in there until she pops back on, man. I think this is just another thing added to the list of why. If our economy was doing so good right now, why is it that these guys are getting cuts? I thought that all of a lot of money and stuff that we've been doing and raising was supposed to be going to help like the vets in the military become something great and tremendous. That's what, at least I thought that was what the promises were.
I mean, you bring up a good point. You bring up a good point. Yeah. If we're gonna cut anything, man, I would never support cutting anything for the vets.
Yeah, it makes no sense, man.
Yeah,
makes people not want to serve.
I'd like to get some clarification on where exactly these like cuts are coming from. Like, what does it mean when you're saying you're cutting jobs? What does that mean?
Corey, main man with the game plan. I don't know where he went. We could circle back to that. And then while we wait for him to come, like, cause he brought up the Kerr County flood situation that's going on. I know there's some relief that's coming out. I saw an article earlier. There's like a nonprofit in LA that's actually sending people out there to help, man. It's a lot of people coming to help with that. But Bobby, you actually had an experience with that, man. If you don't mind sharing, because you were out there.
So if you're familiar with what's happening here in Texas, a majority of the storm hit Kerr County, and every year for the 4th of July, my family goes to Kerrville, like we have been doing for the last 10 years. So July 3rd, I got off of work early. I came home, the truck was already packed, the kids were ready to go. So I grabbed my stuff, put it together, and we got in the truck and we got into Kerrville about 5 o'clock. And it was a little cloudy, but the sun was kind of in and out a little bit. So it didn't really look like anything was going to happen. And I think we were supposed to be expecting 2 to 4 inches of rain, maybe, but nothing catastrophic.
And we lost her. Well,
nothing catastrophic.
Nothing catastrophic, but I will tell you this. She sent us a video in our group chat, and that was before the news started breaking out that things got really bad, man. And what she sent us was scary, man.
It was scary.
It was scary. Like everything you saw on TV is what we saw when Bobby sent us that video. We were just kind of killing that.
I watched it.
Dang it. She's in and out. So we was talking about her experience with the flood because she was out there, man. But it was scary, man. And I hope, we can, all the relief efforts that are being sent out there. FEMA was activated. So I just hope, man, that they can find as many survivors as they can, help people get resituated, So I will say, choose your I would say choose your nonprofit of choice, donate, help people if you can, because I think this is a really good time for us to show that we're a community, man, and a community of Americans, man. Like, we need to come together on this one, man, and help each other out.
I would highly encourage, especially if you're not in the area, don't be talking crap about what's going on over here. I've seen some people talking about, oh, I bet they were all MAGA voters. They all deserved it.
What? That's bad. That's bad. Like, no one, I don't think no one deserves that, man. Yeah, that's, that's crazy. That's crazy. So I'm going to use that as a transition, right? The whole thing with politics, man. I feel like sometimes people get too political, like red or blue, man. No one deserves that, man.
Nobody deserves to die.
No, not like,
nobody deserves to die.
She keeps going in and out. I will say this: there was this one story, man, a miraculous story of a young lady, man. She actually got carried like over 20 miles, man, and she survived. She ended up they said that she went over like 4 dams, and then like was eventually able to grab onto a tree and holding on in that tree for hours, man. And there was a good Samaritan that saw her, tried to call 911. Couldn't get a hold of nobody because they were overwhelmed. So that person ran down the street to get emergency responders, and they were able to help her get down, man. So she survived. So it's that hell of a story, man. When man, I can only imagine what she went through. But she's just help out if you can, man. And don't, like Bobby said, man, I don't think there's no room, man, to be talking any ill will towards anybody. Yeah. No one deserves that, man. But
those were babies that died. Those were daughters that were my daughter's ages, my little one. So as a mother, my heart broke. I can't tell you how many times I cried this past week, and I cried today because every single time I open up Facebook,
and we lost her again. Dang it. Hey, again, we are still dealing with that storm down here in Texas, so that's bad internet. So if I go down, you know why.
Let's not use the term "go down." Let's say if we get disconnected, because
if we get disconnected, sorry.
On a high note.
Yeah. If I get disconnected, let's see. We'll come back because I want her to finish her thought when she comes back, though. But let's get into what you wanted to talk about the big beautiful bill.
Okay, yeah. So the big beautiful bill. Here come Bobby. The big beautiful bill has passed, and although it was looking a bit scary when for some parties when it first came out. They had made a lot of changes to it when it first came out. Still, to keep it unbiased, unpolitical, just make sure that you know who you are and you know what you need to do. That's all I got to say about it, because I don't want to sway anybody. I don't want to sway anybody's feelings about how they feel about that, how the outcome. I just want to be respectful and just let you know the big beautiful bill has passed. 2018 to 2014, meaning that 218 votes to 214 votes. And with those 200, and you know what I'm saying, it was very close.
It was close.
Very close. And the order went into effect on July 5th, 4th, because Trump signed the bill on 4th of July.
So without being too political, I saw a couple of headlines that there may be some impacts in Social Security,
and Medicaid,
and Medicaid. So from a standpoint of people who might be impacted, what would you recommend for those who may feel that?
Get you some rich friends. That's what the only thing I have no clue, bro. Because when I looked at this, I was like, there is some benefits, okay? If you choose to start your own business, there are some benefits for small business owners in it. Just like I said, you know what I'm saying? There's things in there that you can set yourself up for success regardless. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit harder, but one thing for certain, two things for sure. This is America. We bounce back. True. Everybody loves a victory story. So one way or the other, if this affects you in a bad way, it's going to allow you to bounce back stronger. And if it affects you in a good way, kudos.
So we got some feedback. Creative Native said those who are losing benefits are non-citizens.
That's not true.
Partially true.
That's not true.
No.
I have it right here. It's not true. My bad. Go ahead.
So Bobby, you were off. I was asking because I know there's a lot of changes to Medicaid.
I don't know what is going.
Yeah, her signal is still bad. I don't know if you can hear me, but that's the question to the whole team out there: is what advice would you give, Dr. Pooh, for those that might be at risk at losing those benefits?
Find plans, find other plans. Every state is different. So if one state's not offering you the alternatives that you need, maybe you might want to think about looking to move to a different state.
Good point. I had a conversation maybe a couple of years ago with someone I was actually talking about that. I guess the benefits in California changed, so they were considering moving to Texas specifically because of the benefits. So yeah. Man, it's news you could use, right? So instead of like, bashing a bill or whatever, I'm just like, man, what kind of contingency plans can we help people come up with,
Right. And in all fairness, I have the because what I did was use our great thing we call technology. I downloaded the 940 page bill, and I threw it into Chat GPT, and I said, generate the benefits of the upper class, middle class, and lower class. And it spit out the top 10. And I said, give me the top 10 of the pros and the negatives, right? So I'll put that documentation on our and put that documentation on a Google Drive where you guys can actually view it inside of our description. I have it up if you want to share it, or you want me to show it?
To click that link below when we repost this. So speaking of which, when you go click that link below, make sure you also subscribe, click that like button too,
give that thumbs up.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, because again, news you could use. We want to try to help you be successful as much as you can. Right. And get that list so that way you can kind of get up to speed on what's going on with that big beautiful bill and make changes accordingly, man. That's why we put this stuff out there, man, because we want to help you plan, and be ready to pivot, because I'm from what I heard, I haven't had a chance to really look at it yet. I imagine there's going to be a bunch of people that are going to have to make a pivot. Speaking of pivoting, I'm gonna make a pivot, and we're gonna talk about how successful leaders make decisions. Who wants to get started on that?
Since we got Dr. Poole, who's I deem him successful. You can tell the amount of he had by all them hats he has in the background. So he wear many hats in his business. Why don't you go ahead and tell us, Dr. Poole, how to be successful?
Yeah, man. All right.
Successful leaders make decisions. We got some successful leaders on IG too, so y'all could post whatever y'all got too. Because I see you, Coach Ryan. He's a successful leader. Hey, man, what are your thoughts? But go ahead, Dr. Poole.
All right. Yeah. So I do run a pool cleaning business, and I got a great example for this. I recently took on an account to clean a spa, and it was about 3.5 months ago. And it was completely green and swamped out. So I contracted with a guy to drain it, clean it, and get it up to snuff. $450, boom, did it, boom, got paid. House was looking to get sold. He was looking for someone to maintain the property until the house got sold. So I cleaned it for about a month. So I was supposed to charge him $150. He never paid me for it. New owner comes in, takes over the house. Conversations with the new owners happen. Some stuff comes up, some issues with equipment and whatnot, and repairs that weren't mentioned from the homeowner and whatnot. And after a month of servicing with the new client, there have been a couple of issues that I've personally had with this guy now that have kind of made me wonder if this account is worth it or not. And so in essence of this topic, I was thinking the best things that I could do is, one, make a pros and cons list, right? Weigh out and balance the pros and cons against each other. What am I making versus what I'm losing? But most importantly, it was to seek advice from people who you trust in the field that you're in, or who have more experience in the venture that you're trying to explore. So like what I would do if I were trying to, make a successful decision in this particular case would be to bring it to you guys and be like, what would you guys do? Would you guys keep this client? And even though it was a headache, I've cleaned this pool for 2 months now. One guy didn't pay me anything. The second month, the guy's willing to pay me, but I told him like pretty much this is going to be my last time servicing this account because it's been nothing but a headache. And it's $140 to clean a spa once a week. So, I mean, the pay is easy. It's like 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes. Yeah. That's like the only pro, and everything else is kind of cons. And a lot of those cons are outweighing that pro right now. that makes me wonder, is it even worth it? So I think what you guys need to do is have a circle. Anybody who's in business, have a circle of people you can bring it to, like I'm doing now, and try and get advice from people who you trust.
Good point. You know, to your point, right? Someone that's in my circle of trust that I do run stuff by, he taught me a good phrase, man. He would always tell me, is the juice worth the squeeze? Is that juice worth the squeeze? And I was like, when he first told me, I'm like, I could go for some orange juice, but that's not what he meant. That's not what he meant, because I do like orange juice in the morning, but is it worth it, man? Another way of saying that is all money ain't good money, man.
No.
If it's coming with too many headaches, that's just too much stress, man. And
Yeah,
it's the silent killer. You know what I mean?
There are two particular aspects that cause me to decline. I'm sorry, go ahead.
What was that, Bobby?
Is it financially worth your time and your peace? Like, is it stealing your joy? Is the amount of money, is $140, when you really break it down, you're like, you know what?
That good point. You gotta weigh it. You gotta weigh it on the scale, man. What were you gonna say, Donald?
I was gonna just mention how the thing that kind of killed it right now with me and the client and the current tenant is keys and getting to the property, right? Like, it's one thing if you trust me to come and clean your pool, but you're wary about giving out your gate code or a key to have someone just come onto your property. But if I come there to clean your pool and you got cameras and I'm knocking on your gate and I'm knocking on your door, and then I can't clean your pool because I don't have access, and then you say that I wasn't there to clean your swimming pool, even though I'm on camera knocking on your door and all this stuff, you know, it's like, all right, you know, I don't know if I want to take on this account. You're going to sit here and pretty much just lie about me to me, you know, as as if not only I'm lying, but you don't have cameras that were recording the whole thing, you know. Anyway,
it sounds like it's not worth it, man. It sounds like it's not worth it, because I mean, how many other opportunities are you missing out on dealing with that? You know what I mean?
It's just going to be a headache, you know, and I'm worried about pay. I'm not racist, but he's from India, so I knew he was going to try and barter on the price. And although he hasn't paid me yet, you know, I knew that sometimes getting money from certain people is difficult, especially getting the full amount of what you're owed. You know, so I try and give people the benefit of the doubt, though. So I don't want to be that guy. But
have you ever considered a mediator?
I don't think I need one for this situation.
Okay.
He's like,
I've done a pretty good job communicating.
Well, not communicating, meaning that, you know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, so like you said that you're going to pay me. I'm going to have my guy come over there and collect the payment. All right. Talk to you later.
No, well, I offered, because I'm a nice, good guy, I offered to just give him the service for free. I was like, well, you know, just come one more week and we'll finish out the month. I'm like, you know what? Just consider it a gift from Jesus, you know, like, you know, have a good day. And then he's like, no, just come one more day and then we'll finish it out. And then, you know, I'll call someone else. And so I'll be stopping there tomorrow, and then that'll more than likely be it, you know?
Yeah.
Unless he gives me a key to that gate and says, I'm sorry for saying you weren't there when you were there.
I have a question, Don.
Yeah, what's up?
Do you have a good rapport with him, though, outside of him not paying?
Yes and no. We're respectful to each other. I helped walk him along his path when he took over the ownership of the house, of explaining to him the repairs that need to be done.
Yeah.
And how I never was contacted through the owner. I was contacted through a property manager, and so I couldn't give him too much information. But the biggest thing was repairs. Like, the repair work that he needs to have done, I can't do. And he still hasn't paid to have it done. So there's still only so much I'm going to be able to do. And
I wasn't certain. The reason why I asked this is because maybe he knows other people that he can refer you to. Then you can say, you know what I'm saying? Because I know you want to cut ties with him, and you can be like, okay, as a benefit for me letting you just doing this for free. You know, one or two people you can refer me to. That way, all is not in vain.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good point.
You know what I'm saying?
That's actually some great advice. I never thought about that. Yeah, at least you salvaged something. Like, hey, you know what? It wasn't a good fit for us, but hey, since I did give you this great gift from Jesus, maybe you could bless me back and maybe give me, you know, some referrals, and maybe that will be a better fit. I like that idea, man.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Good point. I'll be a better. I'll have more information for you next week. I'll tell you how this all concludes next week.
Let's post it. That's real. Because we got a lot of
DC, baby.
Hey, because I mean, we got a lot of folks, man. You know that tune in. They work their regular jobs. Maybe they doing a side hustle. And they're maybe trying to get that side hustle to be the main hustle. But I mean, these are techniques and tricks that they need, man. Like, because me, I was like, hey, just X them out, just go, right? But Corey actually came up with something that may be able to be a bit more fruitful and at least make it to where your time wasn't wasted. I like that, man. I like that a lot. What about you, Corey, man? What's some of your thoughts on how successful leaders make decisions?
I recently I just been doing data drives decisions, right? Based off of the past experience, will this be a successful journey with this person, right? I actually have a client that I'm working with. I'm not gonna get too much in the weeds because she's followed me, and I tell her about the show. But but she knows. However, I still go ahead and finish out my part of the bargain or part of the deal because of sense of integrity of how I work. However, I also look at if I reach out to another client very similar to them, then I would be a little bit more shrewd, just to be honest, because of the fact that I'm not suffering, but from past experience, you know what I'm saying? If you don't repair mistakes unless you repeat. I mean, if you continue to repeat them, you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? I take it as a learning lesson, take it as a learning curve, and then I go ahead and move forward.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's what's
always
up.
Salvage something though. Always salvage something.
Salvage something. I like that. Always salvage something.
ASS.
I was thinking about it too, and then it hit me what it said. I'm like, I don't think I want to say that. You saw me freeze because I was gonna say it. Yo, speaking of that acronym,
you guys are funny.
We gonna get to someone else that has a lot of experience with that acronym. We're gonna talk about a little bit of Diddy, man. And the question is, it's our Millennial Moment. I'll let you introduce this topic and bring us in, Dr. Pook. The Millennial Moment segment is yours, sir. Get us going.
Yes, sir, man. And ultimately, we're going to come down to the final question of what is next for Diddy, because a lot of news and headlines are going on about how Diddy is going to be a free man after serving a little limited amount of time in jail. And I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard he beat the big RICO charge, and he's not this big criminal mastermind, but he is a sick pedophile, or not pedophile, but a woman beater, and does some very sexually suggestive stuff. So anyways, I was just thinking back on like Diddy though, and like his impact on my life, man. Like I listened to a lot of Bad Boy growing up, and you know I bought the Sean John gear. You know what I'm saying? I had the 2-piece, and you know he had influence over my life. You know, and it's kind of one of those things it's sad when you see somebody who like you kind of looked up to as a kid and you get exposed, and it seems like that's happening a lot. But he also kind of reminds me like a Nino Brown in that movie New Jack City, you know, like there are tons of parodies about it on the internet. Huh?
I said cancel that.
Oh man, yeah, you know, so
take your $5 ass down before I make change.
If you think about it, his girl though, man, you remember Nino Brown's girl, she was ride or die, like she was willing to do anything, and it just kind of made me think of like that. Was that really what like the girl was like, you know, the Cassie girl? Was she really low down like that hardcore chick that, you know, she's kind of got turned out to be, you know? And I also wonder, like, you know, if it, and this is a big question, like, if any of these charges were minor related, do you guys think that it would be different? Like, you know, with R. Kelly, he's busted because what he did was to a minor, you know, and so a minor doesn't have to sin. A lot of the case was Diddy was doing this with adults who gave consent. What do you guys think about that? You think if there were minors, it'd be different?
Hell yeah.
Oh, 100%. 100. I don't think he would have made it. He wouldn't still be existing.
When you add minors, you add RICO, because then that goes under the RICO. You know what I'm saying? Trafficking minors. That's what the RICO was for. But they realized he wasn't. That's why all that got thrown out. Honestly, and I said this on this podcast probably about around the time when the podcast started. I said he gave his life to God, and he said that publicly. And he was like, and I was like, I don't have an opinion no more, because of the fact that I have to trust the fact that he did ask God for forgiveness and gave his life to God. But the consequences gonna have to follow. You know what I'm saying? Even if you're a Christian, you break the law, you still gotta suffer the consequences that you broke the law. Now your father may forgive you, but this world won't. And so he gotta do what he gotta do. That's why those RICO charges, I think those were just trumped up because of the fact that he was Diddy, the fact that he had a lot of money, and to be honest with you, the fact that he was a successful black man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now let's take did he have a sickening addiction? Yeah. Was he a woman beater? Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? These things is, you know what I'm saying? Maybe he changed his life towards the coming in the near future, like in the future from the time that it happened, because that Cassie video was back in 2018, right? So from 2018 to now, he may have changed his life, gave his life to God, but you know what I'm saying? You still got consequences you have to pay. You have to pay.
Yeah. Nobody is doing some time. He is doing some time. You know, like I've been hearing different time frames. Some say it's 10 years, some say 5 years. A lot of professional lawyers on, like Chris Morgan, I heard, was saying 2 years. And then the 7 months that he already spent in jail is going to be accumulated to that. So it's like he already did almost a year itself. But even though he's not getting charged criminally, I'm reminded of the O.J. Simpson trial, where O.J. Simpson was found not guilty, but then afterwards, the family sued him and took him for everything.
If you don't mind, I want to get some input from Bobby, because we got to stay in connection now. What's on that as far as what's going on with Diddy? Following up what Corey and Donald shared about that.
Yeah, I heard just what Corey had shared. I had heard the same thing, but just because you give your life to God don't make you that's not a get out of jail free card. They ain't a get out of free card with anybody. And this world, we still have consequences. It doesn't matter what you put behind your name. It doesn't matter what it is. I think that Diddy has got some mental health issues. I think if there were minors involved, I think this case would look a lot different. But when you talk about consenting adults, it makes it kind of harder, doesn't make it right. By any means, I do think he was guilty on more charges rather than just what he was given. I honestly think he was given a slap on the wrist. And this is only what we know of. There's probably countless things that he's potentially getting away with that we don't know of.
Bobby, let me ask you this.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think that there's a chance that now that he's that the criminal court is done, that he can now be attacked in civil court by all the people who he had affected, and now they might come and, have an opportunity to get money from him, like the way it happened with O.J. Simpson?
Yes, and I think that he should probably stay lawyered up, because they are going to come after him, especially because those victims probably felt like they didn't get no justice. Now they're going to come and hit him in his pockets as if his pockets ain't already gotten hit.
Right.
Yeah. I want to get my spin on that too, man. So first and foremost, I want to give a shout out to the jury, because the jury had a hell of a task, man, and I think they did their job, right? Because if you're looking at the letter of the law, right? I know they requested the transcripts. They were doing their due diligence. To Corey's point, I think the charges were trumped up on the RICO. I don't know if y'all seen those memes, man, but if RICO's not a RICO, man, that RICO law created to take down the mob. You know what I mean? Like, it was one person. Like, that was, for me, when I'm looking at that, right? I want to take a step back and I want to request a Doge review, because look at that. If you're going for a RICO, that was a very weak charge, dude. How much money in tax dollars was spent for those federal agents that raided both of his properties, right?
3 properties, one in LA, one in New York, and the other in Miami.
Hey man, somebody called those, because how much money was spent on that? But that was a weak charge. Like everyone knew that was a weak charge. The whole time I was like, Rico, what? Yeah. It just never made sense. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but they're trying to get him on racketeering.
Yeah. It didn't make sense though.
How are you guys so familiar with Rico? Because like for me, the only reason why I know Rico is like, and I hear it in my head, is I compare it to like Sons of Anarchy, or like the stuff I see in movies or TV shows like Narcos or something, you know, like, do you guys have other views on what Rico's, you know, how it's been used?
It's what is it? Organized crime by an organization. It wasn't an organization. Like,
but Bad Boy is an organization, though. So they
Bad Boy wasn't funding it. It was him, P. Diddy.
There's
an organization and that person. So, and that was known already. So our tax dollars got spent and wasted doing all of that, right? The money that was that charge and the what was it? You had the Mann Act, which she was definitely guilty of that technically. And what was the other charge? I think
sexual prostitution.
It was sex trafficking or something with the intent to seek like prostitution or something like that. It was sex trafficking for sure. Yeah, and there was something else. Yeah, that something with prostitution.
Those were 2 weak charges that tax dollars got wasted on, and including the raids that happened. Now they had something with the Mann Act, because technically, yes, he broke the law there with the Mann Act, because he did pay for prostitutes and transfer them, across state line. That's against law. They should have just stuck with that. Man. Because he can't fight that one. But the other 2 charges, they were weak. Our tax dollars got. It was crazy, but we got something from Coach Ryan. He said Cassie was paid $20 million prior to the criminal case. So I doubt that she will be able to go after him again. I don't think so, because I feel like that would be considered double jeopardy.
No, she got paid. She got paid before.
But I don't think she can go after him again for the same.
Yeah, she can't go after him.
Oh, hey, I got a great question then, and it ties in perfectly too. Now we're talking about Cassie in this particular situation, because we kind of saw a great example of a woman who kind of destroyed the Me Too movement in Amber Heard and Johnny Depp when that big case was exploded over the internet, and how Amber Heard was presumably such a liar on the stand, committing perjury over and over again. And a lot of people have said that particular court case has destroyed credibility for a lot of women. And one of the big things about this particular trial was the fact that Cassie's credibility was kind of tested a lot and kind of crumbled in the end too a little bit. And I'm wondering if maybe it's because the Me Too movement isn't as loud in supporting her like they were for Amber Heard. I haven't really seen the Me Too movement coming out backing these women like since the Amber Heard trial. What do you guys think about that?
I don't think so. I just think they were weak charges, man. They were weak charges. Yeah. Like whether she, like she could be trusted or not, I think it's irrelevant. I just think they went after a very weak charge that they tried to use her for. They were weak, man.
Yeah. And here's the thing. Be honest with you. Diddy also can turn around and sue because those charges didn't stick. So he lost a lot.
He sure did.
And then Cassie, her reputation kind of took a smear, so she can go ahead and sue the people who dragged her into it, because she wasn't gonna get involved. You know what I'm saying? So don't be surprised if you're not gonna hear that Diddy gonna go ahead and sue the Department of Justice for, seizures and all these things that they took from his house, right? But
I want a Doge review.
You know what I'm saying? Right. You know what I'm saying? The thing about it is, Cassie, I just want to say, make this clear. Cassie was a victim. And
she definitely was.
You know what I'm saying? She was a victim. And we don't know what type of mentality that had to play in her and on her during all the situations she dealt with. So I just want to say my heart goes out to her, because she had to go on stand in front of perfectly strangers, and then they have to replay the tapes of something that she probably is still trying to get over. And thank God she had a supportive husband, right? To be able to say, you know what, who knew everything. And you know what I'm saying? Was there to hold her down. So,
hey man, I gotta say that's a strong man.
That's a strong,
To know and find out all of that stuff about your wife, dog.
Yeah. So
well, let me ask you guys this thing, and I'll start with you, Bobby. And this is just to kind of close it up, man. It's the big question, especially since we're talking about it. So, what's next for Diddy? What do you guys think's next? Like, I think personally, after he does whatever time he does, he's gonna disappear, and we're never gonna. I think two things: one, he's gonna disappear, and we're never gonna see him again, or two, he's gonna drop an album. What do you guys think he's gonna do? What do you think, Bobby?
I actually think he's gonna drop an album. That's just what I was gonna say. He's gonna go back to writing music. Maybe he'll switch his style. Maybe he'll make it more about his struggle with mental health or something, and try to put in a couple of tracks about like supporting people who have mental health issues or something. I mean, I don't think he's done with music. An artist like that who's gone great lengths to create music the way he has, produce music like I think he has, I don't think that's just gonna go away. I don't think he's gonna fade into the shadows. He's too big.
What do you think, Corey? What do you think? What's next for Diddy?
Diddy, okay. Diddy is going to go and create another empire. He's not going to do music because music is not for the older people anymore. He already has his legacy on that, and he's more of a producer than an artist. He's going to go and he's going to take all this that happened and build a streaming platform, or he's going to hop on streams and do exactly what other people are doing. He's going to come out with a podcast because remember, he was over Revolt. So now he has a way to get his message out there about how he's changed. And then he also can be able to go on other people's podcasts. So it's the Diddy, I would say, what is it? The marathon. He's going to go on a marathon and sit on all those people's couches and tell his side of the story.
As he should. I think he will go back and finish his case against, what is it? De Leon. It's Diageo or something like Diageo, the company that owned Ciroc. It's a spirits company, because none of this would have ever happened if he didn't have that $2 billion case against them, dude. Because they screwed him over. He had a pending case to sue them for $2 billion. And hey, call me a conspiracy theorist, but all this stuff didn't start happening until he had that case. And that company didn't want to pay him his money, man. So they was like, hey, let's take him down, because if we could take him down, we ain't got to pay $2 billion. I think he's going to go back after that $2 billion that they owe him.
Doesn't Jay-Z own Ciroc now?
I don't know. But
because Jay-Z and Diddy friends.
They're not friends, they're business partners.
They're business partners, but this is the conglomerate. This is a spirits conglomerate that owns a bunch of different brands. Ciroc was one of them. Diddy was, I think, part owner and ambassador, stuff like that. But they owed him $2 billion, man. If I'm him, I'm going after my money. You tried to take me down, so you didn't have to pay me.
I never heard of that story. Isn't that weird how some stories don't get put out into the public, man? I never heard about that.
Yeah,
this is in the hip hop community.
Yeah, it's deep in the hip hop community. But yeah, man, that was a tactic. That was a play that they did. That they were paying people off, man, to smear his reputation, so they didn't have to. Because if he would have got locked up, we still don't know what's going to happen to him, because he needs to be sentenced, right? But I mean, if they would have put him away for life, then they saved $2 billion. You know what I mean? So let's be really real. Let's be really, the boy needs to go get his money, man. For real. Now
I hate to root him on, you know, like, but how do we root this guy on? And you know,
well, I mean, no one's perfect, man. No one's perfect. You know what I mean? Like, hey, dude was a freak. You know what I mean? What I saw out of all of this, he was definitely guilty of domestic violence. That's the one thing that I saw that was like, okay, that's bad. You know what I mean? And that's not good. I mean, but he's gonna pay. Literally, he did pay Cassie, and he has other cases, I'm sure, that's gonna come after him civilly. So he's gonna pay for it, for all of that. But outside of that, man, I think them dudes that company was really just trying to smear his reputation. Because all those other charges were weak, man. Dude was a freak, and they tried to use that against him, man. It just so happened that the whole domestic violence thing came out, but that's not what he was on trial for. You know what I mean? Like, it is his lawyer even said it when she was like, yeah, I'm not saying he's not a criminal. He definitely committed crimes, but those aren't the crimes he's on trial for. You got to focus on the crimes that he was on trial for. And the ones that stuck were the ones that's like, okay, technically did he break those laws, but he didn't force anyone to, those prostitutes that he hired, he didn't force them to do them against their will. It's just against the law to transport prostitution for the purposes of sex across that state line. So that's how they got him. So I don't know if we can root him on, but hey, they, like Corey said, man, they went after him because of his status, man. Otherwise, we would have never heard of none of this. If it was just a regular Joe Schmo in the streets that wasn't being owed $2 billion, none of this would have happened, in my opinion.
Yep.
All right, man. That's it for the Millennial Moment. Yep, Puff Daddy will not spend the rest of his life in jail. He will survive, you know, God willing, he survives his time that he is in there for. He will be seeing sunlight and bathing like a normal citizen again.
Can I just say something?
What up?
He ain't going nowhere.
Oh my God.
He ain't going nowhere.
It's gonna be a block party. Goddamn Diddy block party. Goddamn block party. I can never hear juicy fruit anymore and not think of something negative, you know. Juicy.
Oh, I got a story behind that. But
hey, speaking of pay, we talking about a lot of people about to get paid out, man. Hey, it's not just those people that's gonna take him to civil court is getting paid. It's not him trying to go get them $2 million or $2 billion to get paid, but it seems like a lot of Americans are getting paid. Corey, what's going on, man?
Look like that stimulus is coming back again, dog.
Well, in the form of what? Because I'm hearing something in the streets about some payroll going up in this month, or not this month, man, but last month. What happened, sir?
So check it out. There is, like, payroll went up, man. More jobs is being generated, and by more jobs being generated, I think that's a good thing. So, look, we don't know. I mean, I can tell you right now, I don't know what's going on, but apparently, you know what I'm saying? Like, people are getting hired more. Money is coming in. These are some of the things we voted for, and it's happening. So you can't say, you know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
Man, he said he gonna do what he said he gonna do. And he been doing what he said he was gonna do.
People getting jobs.
And bad. Because if 140,000 employees payroll being added to payroll, that's good.
That is good.
That's good. That means somebody can now feed their family.
Hey,
somebody can now
not out to that.
You know what I'm saying? Somebody can now affordably, possibly experience the American dream.
What's your thoughts on that, Bobby?
You know what I'm
saying? I mean, you obviously know what my thoughts are on that. I think anybody getting paid more is obviously good. I think we were kind of worried there for a little bit because with the coming out of different artificial intelligence technology tactics, I think the idea of people losing their jobs to AI was something that was happening. But when we talk about the factory jobs that are going to be opening up and stuff, there are going to be more jobs requiring human interaction and human interface that AI will never be able to take away.
Nah, that's what's up. That's what's up. What's your take on that, Dr. Poole?
Can you repeat the question for me?
What's your thoughts about pay? How many? You said it was 140?
147,000.
140,000 being added to the payroll, which means more people are getting jobs and the economy is starting to be stimulated right now, man. What's your take on that?
I think it's a lot to do with the illegal immigration and the crackdown on the border. I think that a lot of the people who are being sent back, all those job openings are opening up for people now to come in and take over the labor field again. If they're willing, you know, there are tons of jobs in the warehouse and construction that are going to be looking for a lot of positions to be filled. A lot of restaurants and house maintenances and cleaners are going to be needed, and So it makes sense that the economy is doing better because more citizens are having these jobs instead of non-citizens. But at the same time, you know, we got to have the want to go and do those jobs. You know, a lot of people don't want to do labor work anymore, but that is the backbone of our society. We need to contribute to the backbone of our society for us to be a strong society, you know. Load a truck. It's good money and you get benefits, you know. Dig a trench for a couple years while you learn how to be a contractor. Start your own company mowing lawns, you know, and Black people used to be great at like doing stuff like that, man. And, you know, we don't want to do that stuff anymore, man. I don't think it's just us either.
I wouldn't say just Black people. A lot of all people.
Yeah,
you know? I know a lot of Caucasian people who do a lot of labor work. You know,
it's a great opportunity for smaller communities to take those jobs right now and really make an impact in their lives. And I hope they do that.
There's quite a bit of cotton farms down here in South Texas that are run by white families whose families work on the farm. They keep it in-house.
They don't have to be a cotton. There are tons of farms that you know cultures can take over and farm. You know, fruit. We need fruit right now. You know, we need our own fruit, and we need to start growing our own beans and maybe our own rice. And, you know, like.
No, I feel that, man. You know, good point, man. I mean, the jobs. It sounds like the jobs are there. If you're willing, you can make that money. There's no excuse. That's what I'm hearing right now. There's no excuses, pimp. Like, you need to pitch in on this, man. Shout out. I appreciate the fact that like more people getting jobs, the economy will be stimulated and hopefully things will be, you know, in the uptrend, man. So I'm good with that. I'm good with that. So I mean, what my take from that is the teens may have a bright future of job opportunities for them, right? But at the same time, we got to keep these teens out of trouble so they can get said jobs. And it's Bobby Lopez, you're gonna close us out with this last topic. What we talking about with teens, man? What's going on?
Speaking about teens, you know, I always got a parenting topic that, you know, typically I'm dealing with, but we're not necessarily dealing with this right now, just to be quite honest with you. However, I had this conversation with my 16-year-old just a few days ago, and I explained to her what I was going to be talking about today, and she goes, "Yeah, that's good," because she said she sees it all the time in her school. And that is the sharing of non-consensual images and the dangers of what that looks like, because I had told her, you've got to be extremely careful. You can call it revenge porn, you can call it whatever you want, but what happens is whenever you send digital images of yourself and you share them with somebody, you don't know what that person on the other end is going to do or what type of nefarious intent that they have to do with those images. So if you decide to piss off that person one day and they all of a sudden share your little pictures amongst other people and they begin to share them, there's no artificial intelligence in the world that's going to be able to stop that and get that off of those devices. You've got to talk to your teenagers about being smart and making the right types of decisions when it comes to photography. Everybody now, all of our smart devices have cameras connected to them. And so when you think your cute little bra and panty picture ain't gonna get you far, and before you know it, half of the school has it, you can't get that back. However, I will say here in the state of Texas, it can be considered a gross misdemeanor, which depending on how bad it was, if the person who shared those images, those non-consensual images with somebody else out of malice intent, there's a possibility they can be charged with having to register as a sex offender. So know that there are real consequences out there for that, depending on the charges and stuff. Now, there's some states who depending, especially if the person that you're sending the pictures of is considered a minor, that could be considered distribution of child pornography, and that is something to be aware of. We have got to be talking to our teenagers about making those right kinds of decisions, because it can technically affect them for the rest of their life. One mistake. there are laws put in place to try to protect some kids from like a full-blown criminalization of this happening, to try to destabilize it from it not hurting their life so much. But quite honestly, we gotta be in on it as to what's going on, protecting our kids, making sure that our daughters aren't sharing explicit photos of themselves, because you know what, those goodies are meant to be kept in the bag until the husband comes along, until the wife comes along. It ain't for the whole world to share.
I'm with that. Yeah, man. And it's crazy, man, because it's just that's one of the drawbacks of living in the digital age, right? Like the term is sexting, right? That's such that is a thing, and like I see the youngins are so quick to do that, man. We've talked about all kind of issues like this, and that's just they're trying to grow up so fast, man. And with all the social media, man, it's glorifying being sexual, you know. What's your thoughts about that, Dr. Pooh, man, on why so many teens are so quick to sext and send each other, these raunchy pictures and stuff like that, man? Why do you think that's going on, man?
Entertainment, television and movies and everything that they're seeing on their phones, I think, is what's putting these ideas in these children's head. You could take any of these new age cartoons that they're probably watching, and they're probably doing these conversations in the cartoons. I know in the adult cartoons like Rick and Morty, for example, they push the limits, and I know there are a lot of teenagers who are just as big of fans of Rick and Morty as me, being 42 years old, and they're watching that show just like I am. So they're watching the same shit I'm watching, and what I'm watching is sometimes like, should I be watching this? And so I think that's what it comes down to. What are you allowing your kids to view and watch? I think that we got to monitor our kids, monitor those teens and what they're watching, and talking to them and telling them and showing them a movie of what happens to someone who's like, maybe not, back in the days, they used to show terror movies to terrorize people not to do stuff like road rage, or like, this is what it's like when someone follows you home from school, and then it's this creepy ass guy following you home from school. Like, I don't see stuff like that anymore for the kids. We need to scare these children back to reality to let them know, hey, don't go by yourself because you will get kidnapped. Here's a movie of this kid who just got kidnapped. It's real. It's real.
Are you thinking something similar? Like, remember the old commercial that was like, "This is your brain," and this is
your brain on drugs.
Yeah.
Or the crash dummy.
The crash dummy. There you go.
Hey, I put my seatbelt on because of that. Like, hold on, don't drive off yet. Let me put my seatbelt on. Hey,
that's effective advertising. Exactly. Yeah, man. Now these commercials nowadays are like, I don't know what they're doing now, but I know cell phones, every kid has them in their hands. And if it's not a cell phone, my girl's kids got tablets in their hands constantly, man. They always got that tablet. And she ain't always watching what they watching on that tablet, man. You can watch anything on YouTube.
This is true.
Anybody could go on Twitter.
Yep. Name a platform, right? And that stuff isn't really always being policed. And Brian agrees with us. Social media, TikTok. Good point. Corey, let me ask you this. Yeah. What kind of campaign could be started to help with that? Because I think Dr. Pooh is on to something, man. From your multimedia marketing hat, what do you think should be done, man? And how should it be done?
I believe the campaign should state with the go to the mental mind direction, mental health, mental awareness. Because as we were talking about this, a couple indicators popped up when you guys said something. When you think about dopamine, it's a neurotransmitter, a chemical messenger that plays a crucial role in the brain nervous system. Mm-hmm. It's involved in various functions, including eating, sex, drugs, enjoyable activities. You add two. God knows you can add all three, but you add two. You add enjoyable activities and you add sex. And then you go to the enjoyable activity is the texting, right? You're sending messages, you're on social media. It's an enjoyable activity. Then you add sex. So you just double triggered your dopamine.
Stacked it up.
Exactly. And then now you want to find a way to get it out, because we always want to be able to say, oh, I want to go viral.
Damn it.
I want to go viral.
MB
So
word.
then now you got, you know what I'm saying? Hey, look at what I got. Let me show the world this. And now you're getting the views, not thinking about, did I put myself in harm?
Yeah.
Did I put myself, did I eliminate some opportunities in the future for what I've just done?
Good point.
It's like OnlyFans. It's destroying the mind frame of these youngsters nowadays. And OnlyFans is terrible.
But
So-
it's not just youngsters.
Nah, it's grown folks that's
It's
on
grown-ups
OnlyFans.
as well.
Yeah.
But the campaign, like, let's look at it, how we knew that the crash dummy was affected, because in the commercial, the person in the car, the crash dummy, flew out the door.
Yeah. Yeah.
The egg, right? When we're kids, we automatically think, oh, you know, egghead, right? You know what I'm saying? People
Yeah.
tell us that. So
Yeah.
we see an egg cracking in the skillet, and we thought eggs were yucky. This is your brain. This is your brain on drug. But then what if you go, I would say today's campaign, go really, really, really dark, like you said, scare the hell out of them, fear, but educated awareness. A kid hanging, like I say, 16 years old, hanging with his friend, get a message from God knows where, and then as soon as he press a button, police swarm around him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, hey, we just got a notification. Your device off our network realized that you had sent a message. Sent this.
Ooh.
Put the phone down. Turn around. Cuff them. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Put them in the backseat. Take them. Not prosecute them. Process them, or not just have some type of form that will scare them straight. Because what'll happen is that adrenaline, all of that stuff, that dopamine pleasure, will go so low to then it goes to fear, and that fear will trigger a memory mark. I don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah.
Because it happens right after the happiness, right after the pleasure. You feel what I'm saying?
100%. Like I said, till this day, I will not go in the car, no matter who's driving, without putting on my seatbelt, because that commercial traumatized me as a kid. It scared me straight, man.
Yeah.
I like that scare straight tactic. I think we need more of that. So starting with you, Bobby, and I want to go around. I got a question. So what about the sender of the picture, right? Like, what about, say, a young lady wants to be the one to send that picture? Because I've seen that, right? And I would stop the young ladies here that are with me, and I'm like, dude, you are now kind of setting him up. You know what I mean? Because he wouldn't be able to send it, share it, if you don't send it to him. You know what I mean? Like, what's your thoughts about that? We'll start with you, Bobby.
So when I was looking into the different laws surrounding this, there wasn't really anything as far as criminal charges wise that could be given to the actual sender, because if they were both consenting to receiving the photo and the person again has intent to either embarrass or do any type of vengeful act against this person, it could turn from distribution of non-consensual images into cyber harassment or cyberbullying, which is an additional charge. So what I was understanding was that the sender wasn't necessarily going to get any charges because there was no malicious intent behind them sending the picture to the original receiver. What that receiver chooses to do with it is when it becomes a crime.
Interesting. Huh? What's your take on that, Dr. Poole?
Repeat the question again.
Should there be any repercussions for the person that sends the picture? Because if something goes bad, right, and the person that receives it, they wouldn't be able to send it and share it if someone didn't send it to them.
Right. Man, I don't know what would make a child want to reach out to someone with sexually explicit images or even misleading conversations. I don't know why they're given the opportunity or the platform to do that. I wish that I didn't see it happening, but I don't have an actual answer to how to stop it, because you can't monitor your children 24/7, and if you do, it's gonna create probably some mental issues for them. So I think trust
Nah, I
comes
ain't
down
trying to hear
to
that.
how can you be able to get your child to learn this pattern, can of trust ultimately, and trusting, that they'll make the right decisions in what they're sending. Um, you know,
Yeah.
everything goes back to the parents when it comes to children. When you ask me, though,
I'm with that. I'm with that. What about you, Corey? What's your thoughts on about that, man? How do you what should, if anything, happen to the person sending that picture, and what can we do to try to prevent that person from doing that? Because it starts somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So maybe this is a wild or maybe this is from somebody in our followers to find a way to create the next big thing, but have like a sending filter. You feel what I'm saying?
I saw you going in that direction when you started. Go ahead, continue.
Because you got to realize our devices are hacked. They're hacked. They haven't everybody has been hacked. They just haven't been penetrated to the point where it's doing work on their end. We talked about it. 16 billion passwords was hacked, right? So somebody could be controlling another IP and sending something out. But if you have a filter on your phone to say no lewd devices can come to this device,
genius.
You know what I'm saying?
Then
it'll be able to literally be able to protect that child. But what you have to do, not even a password, just a filter. So the thing about it is, I know my kids are clever because I caught them one time when they were on my phone using, or on their laptop using an Instagram account. They're not old enough to use Instagram.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So like they know how to lie and say they're a certain age they're not.
Yeah.
When you do that, okay, so if they say they were born in 1981, what was the popular cartoon then? What were this and what was that and what was this? If they can't answer that, then they aren't in that age bracket. So
you went no millennial. Huh.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? You don't know who He-Man is. You don't know nothing about G.I. Joe. You don't know about Care Bears.
So you're saying it's like the thing where you got to pick the 5 different flash, stop signs, and out of the 10 pictures and whatnot, you got to pick 5 Care Bears out of 50 bears.
So there's already an app being used.
That's cool.
That uses some sort of artificial intelligence to scan your children's device to make sure that there's no incoming or outgoing of pornographic images, on top of it scanning text messages and emails to see what's coming into, and it sends an alert to your phone. And based off of what it is that you're dealing with your child, there's different subscriptions and different tier levels that you can get onto, and this app is called Bark.
I had Bark. I used Bark. Bark was pretty good. It's costly, but it works.
Yeah.
Hey, get that app. News you can use right there, man. Get that app. Bark, put it on your kids' tablet, phones, right? Because we need that. We need that. You know what I would like to see? I would like to see what you're talking about taking to that next level. For all my developers out there, this is a request I got for y'all. I want someone to develop an app like that AI, but that could scan the picture when the picture's being taken and block it. If you could put some type of setting, get some type of feature, app, whatever, where you can set it, hey, this person is under 18. Even when they go to try to take the picture, the AI app will just block it. Nope, picture block. You know what I mean? Like, dude, hey, I'm calling to all my developers out there. I need y'all to develop that app right there, and we need TS to get just 10%, 10% down.
You got to come on the show and you got to explain everything about it, because why? Our customers our viewers are gonna be your customers.
Yeah, good point. What's up, Dr. Corey?
Flashback for a millennial moment. Y'all remember those old Kodak little cameras back in the day? You had to go and get your film developed at the store. If you were to take a nude picture of yourself, like your butt or a breast or something, they had a thing that would automatically blur the picture, so you wouldn't get the picture of it when it came out of development. So if they had that for cameras back in the 90s, they should probably have something like that nowadays on the cell phone. For sure.
Good point. Hey man, sometimes you can learn a lot from the old school, huh? I like that. You were saying, Bobby. You were saying something, Bobby.
I would still encourage parents, don't think of it as a form of control, but having a phone is a privilege. Your children don't have the right to have a phone. It is not a necessity. It is merely a tool, a device, a resource, if you will, to be able to get a hold of you in the case of emergency. It is not a privilege. You should have certain controls over your children's phone. Doesn't matter what they say. Don't give two shits what their friends think.
That's all.
They ain't their parent. They ain't their parent.
Yep.
We go back to
Be
pages.
the bee. I told my daughter that the other day. I was like, hey, listen, I know we're Christian, but look, I'm gonna be that bitch. I'm gonna be her. I am. If me being a bee is gonna prevent you from going down some paths and not having to live traumas, and I did, then so be it. I will sleep great at night.
As you should.
Knowing that I did what I could to prevent you from any type of a trauma that was unnecessary to your growing up and you becoming some successful. Yeah. This is what I want for you, and this is not what successful people do.
I like that. I think that's the best way to end the show right there. Be the bee. Be the bee, and if you're a guy, be that asshole. I'm okay being that asshole.
Hell yeah.
I'm all up. Hey, and if you want a trip, I'm gonna get you an old school flip phone. Like, play with me. Play with me.
Yeah, right. Put them back on the fucking pagers, man. Give these kids the 1992 pager Nokias.
Yeah. Need to get a hold of me, let me know, right? Send me a little 911 code and I'll give you a call.
Nah, I like that. That was a great way to end the show, man. But that hey, another great show. Again, sending a lot of healing energy to our folks up north, man, up in Kerr County, man. But yeah, man, great show as we always do about this time, man. It's time to sign off. Bobby, let the folks know what they could get from you if they in the Bexar County or surrounding areas.
Listen, Bexar County surrounding areas, all areas within 2 to 3 hours outside of San Antonio. Now we're going to go ahead and extend what it is that we do. We do water damage restoration. So if you are listening, if you know somebody, even if they're not listening and you can speak on their behalf, please reach out to me. Let us know what's going on. Please understand when those river waters come into your home, those can be extremely contaminated, and understand it takes less than 48 hours for mold to begin to develop. We do not want people to lose their homes and lose their livelihoods because they weren't sure what to do. It can be overwhelming. Reach out. I'd be more than happy to be a resource as to what is it that you can do to either get a claim started or something that my husband and I can step up and be a helping hand out to you, your family member, your friends. Please reach out.
Nice.
You can catch me at Facebook, Bobby Lopez, or Bobby.Lopez.5 on Instagram. There's only one of me. You'll recognize my picture. Ain't nothing fake about it. Give me a call. Let's get you hooked up.
Hit her up, y'all. Hit her up. Dr. Pooh, LA surrounding areas. What can they get from you out there, sir?
So we're cleaning pools and we're cleaning spas. We're cleaning fountains. We're cleaning fish tanks. Nah, I'm not cleaning fish tanks. I'm just kidding.
I'm about to say, you doing fish tanks too? What? Aquarium?
I ain't doing aquariums, man. You change your own water on that one. But seriously, if you guys got any questions about your swimming pools and getting it ready for the summertime, you could DM me through Instagram or Facebook Messenger, at DR Pool, or you can just search me at Donald Rumpf Pool Service. It'll pop up also. And we'll, see if we can't get some questions answered for you, and maybe start some work sometime as well.
Hit them up, y'all. Hit them up. Corey Giovanni, the main man with the game plan, man. What can you help folks with also out there in the LA area, sir?
Well, we actually go worldwide. We go big and we go broad, baby. So anything that you need to do when it comes to podcasting, digital products, or you just want to get your message out to the masses, you can reach me at Corey Giovanni on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and did I say X? Nope, but I am there. So check it out. It's your main man with the game plan. Make sure you click the description in the bottom of this video and make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and guess what? We got a new email, y'all. So drop us a line if you get behind. It's your main man with the game plan, and I'm swinging it back to Tech Von Go.
That's what's up. Hey man, so you know me, my thing. I'm in the hospitality business out here in San Antonio. So if you coming out here, you need you a nice Airbnb type vacation rental, holla at me, send me a DM at tech_Von_go. I can shoot you a little discount, man. We running them discounts for you. We'll take care of you. But hey man, thank you YouTube, Instagram, Facebook for spending a Monday night with us. We appreciate it. Y'all have a good week. Good night.
Hey. Give that